Hi, Michael. Hi, Michael. Hi, Ricky.
Hi, how are you?
Say more. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
It worked.
It works. Look at that.
Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't.
I know. But we're slowly adjusting, right, to Zoom
I just
and
got
how to
another,
use it.
now, once I was in, I just got another Zoom that came over and said, when system, prompts you do this, and I just pushed it to the side. So I don't know if anyone else is getting that kind of second
Okay.
announcement.
We'll have to see. We still give everyone a little bit of time. Hi, Dakshita.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How about you?
I'm well. I really need to fix this Zoom thing. Every time I join a Zoom call, it like shows my email as the default name and I like have no way of changing it. It's very strange.
I didn't even know you could adjust that. See?
How are you doing?
Hi,
We're
Nancy.
busy.
How are y'all?
Hi. So we'll give it another minute. And then I can just start with my announcements before I turn it over.
You're very brave taking this on. This plastic bag ban thing.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. It's like it's one of those things where it's just kind of like off to the side on the like things I'm doing. But I do have help from these two wonderful high school students who will hopefully be joining us today. So, yep, there's one. Hi, Autumn.
Hi.
Hi, welcome.
Oh, Stefan's in the wrong order. 1 second, let me go grab the other one.
Hey, Autumn. You can tell Jessica my compost is being picked up tomorrow.
Oh, I will.
It's been a great outcome of this group.
I'm glad.
Has it become a little more consistent? I know you were saying that at the beginning there were like some hiccups with it.
We're working on it.
Okay.
They're working on it. They're trying really hard, and I'm sure it's yeah. Push comes to shove, I just drop it over to Winslet and dump it over there, and they have pickup over there.
Okay.
I prefer to do that actually. Then I know it's gone, but they want to pick up, so drop off. Yeah.
Is this a town thing?
What?
Is this-
No, Nancy. It's an idea I got from Jessica Elmhurst back at a spring live meeting.
Yeah.
She mentioned it, and I was hot on the compost thing because we have hundreds of compostable cups at the senior center that just, and
Yeah.
then I thought, yeah, well, I'll start with me and see how it goes. And then, of course, the whole COVID came along and other stuff came along, and here we are.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the plastic bags, that's a good one. I have a question for you. Besides, um, because I remember this came up for discussion a few years ago, and I saw women from, I don't know, Bridgewater and Wellesley. Now, the other towns that have done it,
Yeah.
are you able to just take their model and copy it, or?
Yep,
Yeah,
that's basically what
can't always copy it to Walpole, but we'll do
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, like I think I mean we looked at kind of combining some
Yeah,
of the various like we looked at Sharon, Dedham, Canton. Autumn probably knows better because she looked at more recently, but
all those towns are doing this.
yeah,
That's
a lot of
great.
ones.
That's
So before we
great.
jump into that, because I do want to give Dakshita and Autumn like their their time to go like into detail what they're proposing. Unfortunately, it seems like we're a small group, but that's totally fine. I just want to say we had the Household Hazardous Waste Day on Saturday. It was a big success. I want to say we had almost 300 cars come.
Wow.
So we were definitely busy and it was hot, but we got out before the main heat of the day. The recycling flyers were mailed. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback. The recycling and trash flyers, we've gotten a lot of positive feedback on that. And then unfortunately, Simply Recycling, the plastic bag pickup, is no longer being offered for us in Walpole. However, Bay State Textiles, they do have bins at all of the schools in town. And on the agenda, I had the link to it. And they accept like a lot of pretty much any textile. So if you go on their website, you can see the items they accept and that they do not accept. So there's still ways to fulfill what Simply Recycling did. It's just unfortunately not curbside pickup anymore. So those are kind of the main points that I wanted to touch upon today. And then now, unless anyone has any questions on those things, I am going to turn it. Yes, Nancy.
I have a question. So people ask about it all the time at the farmer's market. So the information that's on the town website about the school bins is accurate information? That's Bay State Textiles information? Is that correct?
I actually
Double check it when you have a chance.
Yeah, I don't know, and I'll make sure to update it.
Okay.
So, do you know if it talks about Bay State Textiles on the website?
There's a picture of a bin and it just kind of tells what can go in there. So,
Okay.
but I know
I'll double check
it's been there for a while. I think it probably says Rebels on the bin, so you want to take that off, of course. But anything, and just, yeah, make sure that it's accurate. And then we can reference that or maybe copy it and pass it out at the farmer's market or something.
No, that's perfect. I'll
display
look
it,
into
yeah.
that, and then I'll let you know, because
Okay,
looking at their website, it really is a good program,
Yeah,
and they do accept a
good.
lot of different things. So I would definitely continue to push that, because we no longer have the curbside pickup.
great. And a lot of people came by saying that they sat in line, so we knew that it was you having a really successful day down there.
Yes, it
Congrats.
was nonstop.
Yeah.
Like the cars kept coming. There was no breaks. I think some people waited an hour in line just to get through. So everyone cleaning out their garages and all that, basements. They had a lot of stuff to bring. So no, but it was a good day. It was successful. So okay, so then I'll turn it over now to talk about the plastic bag ban that you're thinking of. And Dikshita, just so that you're aware, I think that if you, I talked about the deadline is, I think, August 18th, and I do believe that you want to talk to administration. Melissa talked to the clerk's office. So you just want to reach out to them to see what exactly would need to be filed if you want to get it on for the fall.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Why not, before we get started, my two wonderful helpers, you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Perfect, thank you.
I'm Autumn, and I'm gonna be a sophomore at Whipple High School.
Hi, I'm Steven. I'm also going to be a sophomore at Whipple High School.
Cool. Yeah, so these two have been helping me with basically everything on this front, and they're both part of you guys are part of like the green team, right? Yeah. Cool. So basically what I'm going to do is actually, Autumn, while I'm going to start answering, I think there was a question about the lifespan of plastics. I'll answer that. And meanwhile, can you pull up your graphic?
Yeah.
And just we'll have you present. So basically, both Stephen and Autumn made a survey. They took a survey in March, way back when, at the beginning, before all of this, of kind of what people's opinions were towards a plastic bag ban. And so I'll ask Autumn to just kind of Autumn and Stephen can just kind of share what they found from that. Before
Should I
that,
sh-
Mhm,
Should I share my screen?
yeah, you can. So the question about the plastic lifespan, I think there was one question about that. the question was basically, like plastic lifespans can range anywhere between like 10 years and like 1,000 years. And so what are we kind of dealing with right now? Actually, for a lot of the shopping bags that we use at Stop and Shop and that sort of thing, the lifespan is actually pretty short. It's like on this order of 10 years to fully degrade. But actually, the reason why people are so against thin film plastic bags is because they degrade so quickly. Because they degrade really quickly, they become like smaller a lot faster, and so they end up getting caught in a lot of like water streams, and they get caught in like wildlife, and like way more than any other type of plastic. And it's because they degrade so quickly. So hopefully that answers that question, but I don't know, were there any other initial questions, just kind of right off the bat? Okay, great. If not, then Autumn, why don't you just kind of really quickly share what the survey results were?
Yeah, I can. And it says like the host disabled the sharing button, so I can just summarize it.
Yeah, that works too.
Okay.
I'm not the
so,
host, so unfortunately I can't. I'm trying to see if I can change it. But if you don't mind sharing, and then can you email them to me as well?
Yeah.
And then we can send them out.
Let me see how to work it. So it's a billing.
Okay. So I interviewed 104 people total. It was from like customers at the Stop and Shop in Walpole, and also students and teachers at Walpole High School. And I had 3 questions. The first one is how frequent people remember to bring their reusable bags into the retail store. Or no, the first question should be number of reusable bags that people own. And we had 35% said like 12 or more, 40% said 6 or more, 18% said 3 to 5, 4% said 1 to 2, and 3% had 0.
I just realized something, Autumn, really quickly. You have a link to that, right? Can you make it viewable by everyone and then share it in the Zoom chat?
Oh yeah, that'd be a lot easier.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
I think it's just easier to see the pie chart in front of you. And then that way you don't have to like explain, like read out the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that works.
Yeah, I see it. So. Is everyone else able to kind of see that? I see 2 of us are on this.
It shows I have to request access.
Okay, yeah, so make sure that it's here. I can actually change that right now.
Okay.
It is not.
How many people added? Oh, I see.
Should I be on share screen? No, that's not it.
No, so if you click on, there's a button that's called chat, and you click on that link.
You know, I'm not seeing the chat. Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Chat.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go, Autumn. You have to go in and change it to basically everyone, not just people added.
It says I can only share it to Walpole Public Schools because it's under my school account.
Okay, great. I'll copy it into my drive. Give me like a second.
Okay.
Yeah, gotta love technology sometimes. It just doesn't. Like, I'm sure they meant well with that feature, but also it's just a pain. Let me see if I can do this. Give me a second. Oh. Yeah, that's weird. I can't change it.
I'll send an email to see if we can get content to be shared. I don't know how
Yeah.
quickly they'll be able to respond, but
Okay, that's fine. Oh, you know what I can do? I can send
I-
files.
I just copied it onto my other email, so I can try to send a new link right now.
Yeah, that would be great. If not, I will also work on putting this PDF into a PDF, and we can just okay, I just sent a file to everyone in the Zoom chat. It's just a PDF. That's what we'd be seeing. Hopefully that worked, maybe.
Copy or paste into download. Hit that. Copy of plastic.
Lucia, you said you sent something in the chat.
Yep, it's a file.
Still not seeing it.
Autumn, are you able to see it?
Yeah, I opened it. I can see it.
I opened it.
Yeah. You should just be able to double click on it or something. It should open, maybe.
Does everyone else have it at least? Okay, perfect. So just go ahead.
Okay, yeah, Autumn, go ahead.
So the second question I had was how frequent people remember to bring their reusable bags into a retail store. So 48% said most of the time, 24% said rarely, 18% said always, and 10% said never. And then my last question was the opinion on a possible bag ban in Walpole, like the overall, what they thought about it. And 78% was positive, so that was really good. 10% was neutral, 12% was negative, and 1% was like another, someone else just said something very different. So, but I also looked at like the people whose opinions were negative on the bag ban. Most of them had over 6 bags, like they owned more than 6 reusable bags, and most of them said they never bring them in the store. So I'm guessing that's just it's hard to change a routine if you're not used to bringing them in. Then why would you want to have to? Like you wouldn't want to have to change what you're already doing. So
Yeah, so it sounds like the vast majority is positive. Those who, as Autumn said, like those who are kind of against it, it might be coming from a place of like changing of habit, or just like I tend to forget my bags, and so I don't want to have to, like, it's nice for me to have the ability to still bring my groceries home, right, without remembering. So kind of, yeah, so that was, I think overwhelmingly, because it was so overwhelmingly positive, we were like, okay, let's kind of draft something, like draft a bylaw and just kind of see what it looks like. And so I think that PDF you should have all received earlier. And I'm not sure, were there any kind of large comments? I mean, the kind of, I think there's one part of this bylaw that is, that's still kind of like draft phase. It's just like in parentheses, but everything else for the most part was kind of just like a conglomeration of everything we'd seen before. So were there any questions that you saw? Are there any like positive, negative reactions? Any bits that are unclear or too strict? I think one thing that we were worried about in particular was the whole like when it should be put into effect. So I know like less about this. I think Stephen looked into this a little bit more, but like there was a point during this pandemic when like reusable bags weren't allowed, but I think apparently they're allowed now. So we were just kind of unclear on what people's thoughts were when it comes to like when this would go into effect, because like right now it says like bylaw should be put into effect after the approval from the Attorney General, and like hopefully the Attorney General would like not approve it until they feel it is safe. But unsure if you might have more insight.
So currently with COVID, what happened is the governor put in an order that overrode the bag bans. So that order had
Got
a
it.
and they didn't
Okay.
extend that order. So that order ended, and then that's when reusable bags were allowed again. So the same thing would happen. I would assume that if they felt that reusable bags couldn't be used, the governor would put in an order that overrode those, because that's what
Got
happened.
it. Okay, cool. So there was no motion to like extend that. Okay. So then in
Right.
that case, I mean, it's probably fine to just go forward with the citizens petition on this. Is there do you have more insight into like how that process works?
I unfortunately don't. This would be my first time dealing with it as well. So I would definitely reach out to the town administrator's office.
Okay.
And then it might help to reach out to the clerk's office as well, because
Okay.
they play a big part in town meeting, and they have a better idea of how processes usually work, and they can just probably do a better job explaining it. But I think that Donna had emailed me a question earlier about the paper bag requirements presented here may be a bit strict. So I don't know if you have any comments on that, or if Donna wanted to go into that at all, like what she was kind of hoping to see.
Mhm. I think
Okay. Yeah. Although I think I'm in the majority of people, and there's only myself, I work so much better with 2 double bag paper bags than I do with rickety little cloth bags. And I can get several uses out of them before they finally go. And after that, I put yard waste or something else in them. My question is, I've never stopped to see if they're made of 100% recyclable or 40%, so if you put, and this may be irrelevant again, as I'm probably in the minority of people use paper bags, but I would like to continue that practice, and I've not really inspected Roach Brothers or Trader Joe's to see what the paper bags are made of. So I
Yeah.
just don't know if, since this is sort of, I don't know, I think it's worth looking at.
Yeah, so I think I'm pretty sure that the vast majority of paper bags, like Trader Joe's, I'm like almost positive it's 100% paper, and like same with like the ones that are really durable, I feel like for the most part are 100%
I would, if
recyclable.
that's the case, having been a town meeting member for 3 years, which is why I'm not now, I would keep it as simple as possible.
Okay.
Really like your selling point about, I didn't know that, about the real issue with the plastic bags is, yeah, they're flying around and they're choking the geese in the backyard, but the fact that they break down in those smaller particles, choking and clogging, and I think that's, if you want to give a reason for, I think somehow if that's part of your, or maybe that could be another time for a presentation to the Board of Selectmen. I'd also say as a resource for getting articles on town meeting,
Mhm.
Green Needham or Walpole, I'm sorry, wrong town. Walpole Green, Phil Chakarowski has got one coming on for 100% renewable energy, which we tried to do in the spring, but
Okay.
so they're a good source of, they really know how to play the game at town meeting and how it works. But, if you're just looking for another perspective on the whole thing, what do we call it? Walpole Green, I think is what we call it now. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I can get you in touch with Philip. We worked on something in the
yeah, Nancy.
last year.
Mhm.
There's also information on the town website on how to write a citizen's petition, and there's
Yeah.
garbage.
Mhm.
So of course the town clerk can help you with that as well. But if you want me to put you in touch with Philip, I certainly can.
Yeah, that
I
would be
just
fantastic.
grabbed a Trader Joe's bag. It's like 60% PCC recyclable.
Post-consumer
reusable.
content.
It's made from recycled material. It's
Yay.
science certified, FSC. So
Trader Joe's definitely fits the boat.
Yeah.
We could just say
And they double bag.
brown paper bags as in Trader Joe's, or just something that people can understand, you know?
Yeah, so maybe it's like a parenthetical or something that's like examples of bags that fit in this category.
Right.
I may also have information from a few other towns about their verbiage or what they did, so I'll see if I have that, and if I don't, I can certainly get it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I think Norfolk or Rentham did it. You said you had Canton, right?
Yeah, the Canton one is the one that we used.
Okay. And I know the woman who did that proposal and put it all together, if that's helpful to get in touch with her too.
Yeah, that'd be great. So examples of paper bags that fit this. Yeah. Cool.
I am a town meeting member, so if you need a town meeting member for some reason.
Yeah, thank you. These are all really great,
Oh.
and I'll add the bit on the examples for paper bags. Was there anything else?
Remember also that we are at the farmer's market every Saturday. So if any of you want to come and, spend an hour or two or a Saturday there, it's from 9 to 1. I haven't shared the Sign Up Genius at all because we didn't really have anything recycling related until now. And, in June we weren't doing it. So in July we started. But
Is the farmer's market up and running right now?
yeah, started in June.
Okay. Okay.
And we have the table. We've been doing it. We've been talking about recycling and voting because
Right.
And we promoted the household hazardous waste day and all that stuff. So
Okay.
yeah. So if you want to, I don't know, are you planning on getting signatures or anything in support
I think we
of
need
the article?
Yeah, we need to get signatures for the citizens petition.
Yeah. So you can get those there too.
Okay. And that's when exactly? Sorry, Saturday.
It's every Saturday, 9 to 1.
Oh yes, I knew that. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Great. I can't make it this Saturday, but I don't
That's
know if
okay.
Autumn or Stephen, if one of you guys wants to kind of go and have that experience.
I'll send the Sign Up Genius, and I don't have access to everyone's email, right? But
yeah, I can.
But I can forward it to you, and
I can share
you
your
can share it to everybody. Yeah.
Yep.
And then people can just sign up for whatever week they want to come or whatever.
Great.
And it's hour-long shift, so you can just come for a Saturday. You can just come for an hour, do whatever you want, and then going forward, if you want to just leave the sheets there, we can get the signatures for you too. So
Great. So I think Mike just came in and let us share screen
Yeah,
now.
screen sharing is now or content sharing is now available. Should work if you need it.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. Yeah. That was really it. On the front, if there are any other things that you think we should be changing or adding, there was like some of the other towns had this entire like bit on marine biodegradable bags, and they like basically listed out like far more alternative options than this current draft. What are people's thoughts on that? I was like, I feel like people don't really know if their plastic bags are biodegradable, marine biodegradable or whatever, and like I don't know, it just seemed like it would make it more complicated. But what are people's thoughts on giving more options?
So are those like, what are the benefits of the bags? What are the availability of those bags in general?
Yeah.
And are actually as good as they advertise for the environment?
Yeah, marine biodegradable bags basically degrade faster in like the ocean and in landfills, like I think by, I want to say like half. So instead of like 10 years, it'll take like 5 years. So I haven't looked too much into whether they have the same issue as like the clogging of, whether the microplastic particles are still just as bad. I don't see why they would be better, but yeah.
So personally, I would say if there's not really an improvement with them, we don't know as much about them, I don't know what the availability is, then,
It's fine.
I mean, if you're trying to get rid of plastic, you might as well stick to
Yeah.
the general plastic.
Sure.
Are you saying that grocery stores would switch to those bags?
No, it's more like grocery stores would have the option of switching to those bags if
Oh.
paper bags and reusable bags were not an option for them.
Oh. Hmm.
Yeah.
Probably costs more, so they probably wouldn't.
Honestly. Also, I think that earlier there was an entire conversation around like how to beyond just a bill, like how to make sure that people actually followed things. So like, right, like this bill, all it'll do is it means that those few poor people who are against the bill, who forgot, the people who forgot their bags at home would be forced to maybe once or twice go back home and then come back, and if they forgot. But we also were talking about like ways of making sure that people were aware of the switch and making sure that, like an entire thing on the like change that needs to happen in your lifestyle to actually accommodate like using reusable bags instead of plastic bags. I'm not sure. And then I think there was another conversation around like, what was it? Whether like charging for bags versus like there was, I vaguely remember something about like, should we like say somewhere in the bylaw of like about how people charge for the bags versus like giving a discount if you bring a bag, that whole conversation. Do you have thoughts on that? And whether that's something that we can even say in a bylaw?
So that's something I was actually going to bring up because I saw in like subsection 3, you talk about
Yes.
recyclable paper bags or reusable checkout bags. The retail store may charge for said bags.
Yep.
So I know stores currently do charge for reusable bags,
Mm-hmm.
but generally the paper isn't. I know
Yes.
that in some places they've talked about doing like a charge for plastic bags, that type of thing. Again, I don't know the answers to that, but that's something I would definitely look into a little bit more, because there would be like a financial piece potentially that would need to be set up. And are you saying then like who gets that profits? Are you going to say that the store does, or is that going to be almost like a tax? And if so, then that just adds additional dynamic to it. So
Right.
I would, has any community in Massachusetts, do you know, if they have done charge for paper, plastic?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that language was also pulled from Canton, and I want to say one other one also. A few of the neighboring towns have that language in their bylaw.
So I might, if I were to reach out to those communities to see how that fee works.
Okay. I'm pretty sure
they've
I
used it.
think that's a good idea, and something that I'll add to the list of things to do.
Also, didn't Big Y have, didn't they institute a plastic bag ban?
It was like they charged 10 cents per paper bag. They still had plastic, or no, yeah, they did. Like there were no more plastic bags, and it was either you brought reusable or charge for paper. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think a lot of the towns, like they were kind of like, it's not a tax, right? It's like you as a vendor are allowed to charge for the things. Yeah.
And so is your goal for the fall now, or are you thinking more the spring?
I think it would be good to kind of just put forward in the fall.
Okay.
But especially given, I mean, it's more just like get it out and just like have it be there and done with. Is the way that it works like basically people vote? Who votes on this? I just realized I have no idea.
So town meeting members, which Nancy is one of them.
Okay.
There are 8 precincts in town, and there are either 18 or 19 town meeting members voted in each precinct to represent your precinct at town meeting. So
Right.
everybody doesn't have to go.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there's a meeting in the spring and a meeting in the fall. The only thing in the fall, I would just be prepared to get a little bit of pushback because Springtown meeting, because of COVID, they limited it to just 3 articles. There were 23 or 24 articles that are all being pushed to fall town meeting. So in addition to whatever we're going to talk about at fall town meeting, those are being pushed to that. So it's going to be a really large agenda, I suspect. And I would just, when you talk to whoever you're going to talk to at town hall, they may try to persuade you to maybe wait till the spring because of that. And if you don't want to, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But just letting you know, just be prepared because that
Yeah.
could potentially happen. I don't know.
Okay. Do you know if there's a thing where like we can just submit it for the fall and then it can be tabled to the spring? Like basically say like,
Well, once you submit it,
mhm,
then you have to go before the select board to
right.
present it, and you have to go before the finance committee to present it, and they either approve it or they vote whether they're for or against what you're proposing.
Mhm.
If they're all against it, I think they will. I don't think they come out right out and say we're against it, but I think they encourage you to go back and
Revise.
rewrite it possibly.
Yeah.
Although they did vote against the citizens petition a few years ago, and it still went forward and was still overwhelmingly voted in favor of. So I'm not really positive how that works.
Okay.
I shouldn't say that as a town meeting member, should I?
Okay. And there's no other way of soliciting feedback from people in this, in like town hall, like committee members, is there, aside from finding out who they are and cold emailing? Like, are there any other ways of accessing this group of people?
Oh, you could send it. Yeah, you could send an email to everybody.
So I would reach out to the town administrator's office. They should have that information. And then you might want to start who's in your district to start with. And then they can go, that might be a good way to start with,
Okay.
a handful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Where do you live?
I live in like near Mylod Street, so like near the like estates. Well, I'm like in those. I don't know how to describe it. Near Washington Street, near
You're
Sharon.
in precinct 1.
Oh, okay.
So,
Good to
so
know.
how many
Guess what precinct I'm in?
Precinct 1. Nice. Okay, cool.
So we can get in touch with at least the RTM members here.
Okay.
so
And I'll
how
share
many,
your email at the end of this.
how many precincts do we all represent right here? There's, I'm just saying is if all of us reached out to our town meeting members, representative town meeting, I mean, I'm 6. I don't know what everybody, oh, Ricky, you're not one, you don't count. Well, you count, but not for this. And then Stephen, if we can just find that key person in the precinct who's be willing to call 5 or 10 more. I used to call my town meeting members about everything, and I think they're so surprised, they're so pleased that someone has an interest,
Yeah. Okay, so I think Autumn, Stephen, and I can figure out kind of who we're reaching out to and get more feedback on kind of what people's thoughts are on this bit, and kind of start to, because I think it would be good to make it less of like we are going to tell you about a thing, like right now, and this is the first time you've encountered it, and especially if the agenda is really busy in the fall, it might be good for people to just be like familiar with it before voting, and that way hopefully the process would be faster and people can form an opinion before
Perfect.
going.
So I will work on connecting with Nancy
Okay.
for both the farmers market to set up with them, distribute that information, and then just regarding precincts. And if you decide to hold off until the spring, hopefully at one of our future meetings, maybe we can discuss a little bit further if you want any opinions, feedback, if you've made any changes. And then I would say also contact the town administrator's office
Okay.
for more information.
Yeah.
Okay, and so that brings me, I guess, was there anything else that you wanted to say about your proposal? Okay, so then I had looked at having maybe our next meeting at the end of September, same time. What's everyone's thoughts on that? Is that good? Do we want to have a meeting in August, or should we wait till September? What's everyone's opinion? Perfect, then September it is. Okay, so September 29th, we'll plan for 5. And again, Dakshita, if there's anything you need, like questions, or if we can point you in the right direction for the plastic bag ban, we'll definitely provide you with contacts if we have them.
Great, sounds good. So I'm contacting the town administrative office.
Yes.
Administrator's office. Okay. And we'll figure out the farmers market boothing thing. And also I think Walpole Green was mentioned. And I'll connect with Nancy. Is that correct?
Perfect. Sounds good.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for presenting, and everyone enjoy your evenings. Stay cool.
Thank you.
Thank
Good night.
you.
Thanks, everybody.